Hey, beautiful. I decided to record this video and share with you my desire and intention to create new space for us to play and explore, new container for unlocking deeper layers of our feminine desire. And not those desires that are stuck in our heads, right? Not the ones that are offered on the market outside, right? In the society, on the global market, whatever, anything that you can look at Amazon and buy. No, no, no. We are going to explore this deeper layer that is hidden, and we can't really easily access it at any time because it can be only unlocked when we are in a certain state, energetic state, right? When we allow ourselves to let go of control, this head talk that we have inside our heads, blah, 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 always thinking, always calculating something, always trying to solve the problem, always trying to perform, succeed. There is always this kind of race, right? That we're participating. The time, we have to control the time. Time flies and we're freaking out. Wow, we don't have enough time. So when we're in that mode, we can't possibly access this wild, deep, feminine desire, this deep longing, this craving, this experience in the body, of experience in the emotional body, right? In your sensual body. And experience this juice and adventure of life and connection and relationship and energetic exchange, right? When was the last time that you felt this way, that you allowed yourself to dive into that space? We all crave that experience right now. You can see it how everybody is talking about embodiment. Everybody is talking about this new consciousness, new earth paradigm, right? Awakening of the feminine, the importance of being in the body and being present. Yet our lifestyle doesn't really provide that. If you spend all your time with your electronics, with your computer, with your phone, texting or searching something on Instagram, you see all these women and people dancing and doing all this embodiment thing on the Instagram, but you don't know if they do it for themselves or they're doing it for these reels, right? So it becomes kind of a trend. Yet you can see how everyone also struggles to step out of this performance box, right? And this success race, and do, achieve, and like pay the bills, whatever the goals are. And it doesn't matter how much money you have if you're constantly in that race. So I find it boring to be a millionaire and do the same thing, right? Not having enough time. But what's the point, right? So that's where we want to go. That's what we want to cultivate. And in a way, it's also working with time space, right? So yes, we need to do all these things as well because we're inside of this 3D, right, matrix. We do use money, we do pay bills, we do buy stuff, we eat, we're inside the system. And at the same time, we're free and we're connecting with the divine. So how do we combine these two things? They seem to be so hard to combine. And when it comes to intimacy, to tantra, to feminine arts, right? Intimate arts, healing arts, they require this consistent presence and consistent flow, right? So you can just like turn it on for half an hour, then turn it off, and then do some other things, and it's turn it on. It doesn't work that way. So you need to know yourself, and you need to be able to organize yourself in this time space, dancing between the worlds. Now, when we unlock that space, right, when we give ourselves permission to go there and not to be afraid to lose time, because most of the time when you go there and halfway, you start to worry, does it take too much time? Do I need to be productive, right? You start to sabotage yourself. But this is where your true desires, if you even talk about intimacy and connection and sexuality, this is where your true desires are being stored. This is where your true feminine potential is being hidden. And there are ways to unlock it and have access to that while still allow the daily routine to roll, right? So in a way, it's art, and there is this permission when you kind of break the plan. You allow the plan to be broken for this creative flow to consistently be in your life. So you have to be flexible. You have to let go a lot of regular, masculine control to be able to live that way and trust the process. And in this space, usually women open up to this deeper realization that, oh, I actually chronically under-receive these experiences. I chronically under-receive the presence, full, total presence of my lover and me in the sacred space. I totally under-receive this passion and this wild, flowing attraction, exchange of sacred sexuality, sacred sexual energy with my partner, right? I totally, dismiss the calls of my body when my body needs to move around and shift and feel this turn on for life or for your partner or with yourself. So we usually just feel that we don't even have time for that, because once it's on, you can't just shut it down. It has to go on for a while. It's like it takes time to digest food, right? We don't expect ourselves to digest food in 5 minutes. Why do we expect ourselves to create such rigid time frame for creativity, for femininity, for being in this flow state and like trying to push yourself back to this very rigid discipline, right? And yes, and your success coach might say, no, you have to do all these things, you have to do this discipline. But if you only do that, that just kills your soul, right? So then you lose motivation to do these things. You don't put heart and soul in them, and then they don't come out as good as you wanted. You actually don't succeed. So this energy that we're accessing, this is life force. This is the energy of pure manifestation, right? The popular word, it's a pure generation of opportunities, of synchronicities. When you're in that state, it's more valuable than you're working for a year, working hard for a year without feeling this way. So these states, we access them through Tantra. If we really commit to Tantra, we access them through a beautiful relationship with the masculine, when we feel that pull and that dance that totally awakens us. That's another pathway, right? And there are also certain things that you're pulled right? Certain activities, right? Like I was pulled to skydiving. So it was like it gave me that energy because it's so intense. It's so playing the edge, you know, challenging your limits, right? Yes, it gave me that energy totally. Well, I loved holotropic breathwork when I started doing that. It's like, wow, that I was so passionate about it. It was more, I wanted more and more and more exploration and learning. And that gave me that energy, right? The traveling can unlock that. So we want to work with that energy, and we also want to learn, you know, certain elements, some foundational um, concepts, right, or principles of a new paradigm. So your conscious awareness also in the right place, right? So you're not sabotaging your flow states, you're not pulling a rope in opposite directions at the same time because of the conflict of two paradigms in your mind, right? Because we're transitioning between old paradigm and the new paradigm. So that might happen in your mind, this conflict between the old, what you've learned and how you've been functioning, and this new, oh, feminine flow states, you know, creativity, new world, harmony, you know, like all of this. And the world is so polarized. So we feel this pull in different directions, right? So I invite you to explore this with me, and I would like to send you like survey about how you feel about your relationship right now. Where are you at? We'll play with relationship and intimacy as a pathway to these states, right? How do we navigate that? How we not shut it down? How we not overthink it or over chase it? Right? How do we allow this energy to be, to run our relationship, to run our love life, to run our intimacy, right? Because intimacy, it has to be free, and sexuality has to be wild, you know. That's why you don't experience that, because you don't create space for that. You're not accessing those states within yourself. So this space, it will be about receiving him, receiving masculine energy, and feminine is about all receiving, right? Like we're receiving sperm, then we give life. So by receiving his energy, his love, his desire, being wanted, being desired, right? Feeling that attraction also within yourself, you activate and you open those gates within yourself, you access those flow states, and you learn to trust them and run through your body and through your being. So this is what will be about receiving him. And we also want to look in different aspects, like receiving can be manifested in so many ways, right? And different women might desire different things. There is this taboo now about receiving any kind of like more traditional support from a man. And I'm actually questioning it a lot, because like, okay, women were used to be dependent on men financially and like practically, because they didn't have any rights. Then they got free and they got super hyper independent, but then they couldn't connect with them men either, like just being also isolated. So we want to find that sweet spot for each of you to see what is like you desire. Maybe you want to be supported by your man financially, at least for a while. Maybe you want him to invest in your gifts, in your feminine arts, in your feminine projects, because it is really hard for you and for us to live in the masculine world, do all the masculine stuff, and also generate this inspiring feminine energy and being in this flow. It's too much to ask. We do need their support. So we do need to allow ourselves to say, hey, I like to receive support with this. I'd like to receive some funding. I love to receive some time for myself, but to not to constantly worry about money making, you know. So it's not just about purely sexual energy. Sexual energy can be manifested so many ways, and so many ways can turn you on if you start receiving that. Imagine you receive support with your feminine projects. Maybe you're working on some kind of masculine industry and you want to start your healing studio, right? Open the healing studio for people and practice your arts. But you can't do it right away because maybe you don't have enough funds, you don't have enough time, you need to do other things, right? Maybe you want to receive that right now. This is totally valid and it's totally beautiful. And in a way, historically, energetically, we deserve that. The men, in a way, owe us this, and we need to allow ourselves to receive and not to feel that something is wrong with that. Hyper independence is also a trauma response. We need to receive, we need to collaborate, we need to open ourselves up to co-create. Let them actualize our desires and dreams and fantasies. Let them play with us together in creating new world. So I will send you this email and I will send you the link to the survey to see what are your desires that you wear right now, and then we'll play with receiving together, receiving from the masculine.